All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be breaking down this Monday night showdown here between the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go in and get into it. So, guys, this is going to be an interesting game with the game total for DFS purposes. So, it's only 38 total points. So, that kind of brings into play the DST a little bit, but the kickers are going to be in play as well. Looking at the point spread, it is a 3-point spread in favor of the Houston Texans winning. I don't really care about that for DFS purposes. It's a close game, but it's a lower scoring game. So, that does make a lot of the plays more difficult. That kind of makes us wonder whether or not we need to pay up for maybe Aaron Rodgers, for example, Woody Marks, for example. Like, those are some interesting lineup decisions that we're going to have to make. And let's actually start with Woody Marks, guys, because we do know that Jordan, who had been looking good for them, is going to be out in this game. And so with him out, yes, Nick Chubb will get a little bit of work, and maybe he's a value for us. But Woody Marks is going to be kind of the, I don't want to say easy click, because it is a more difficult matchup. Like, the way you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers is by throwing the football, but he becomes a pretty interesting click now at that price tag. That being said, we kind of know who to be looking at for the Texans. It's really three players, especially if it's not going to be Woody Marks, a running back for them. It's going to be Nico Collins. Yes, kind of the last couple of weeks, not too much production for him, but this is going to be a much better matchup here going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know he's going to get the targets. We know he's going to get the air yards. You would expect him to have a good game. And then we're also going to be looking at CJ Stroud in this matchup here against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The issue with CJ Stroud is I don't think we're going to see like a ceiling game out of him by any means. I think we're just going to get a good game out of him, which is typically, that's what we've seen this year. Now, the thing with Stroud is if you are playing Nico Collins, then you're probably playing Stroud. If you're playing Stroud, you are almost definitely playing Nico Collins. And then the second play, who I think is egregiously mispriced, and I think he ends up being a very decent captain play, is Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz basically not leaving the field for them, basically their receiver number 2, basically their second best weapon in this offense, especially with Woody Marks and Jordan kind of splitting the work for a little bit there. He's been the consistent target, and I really don't understand the price tag. I really love getting to him. So if you're playing CJ Stroud, though, I kind of like this base build here. If CJ Stroud's going to have a good game, these two are going to be the reasons as to why. Now, that being said, we have seen Higgins play a little bit more and look good recently. I worry people are kind of giving him a little bit too much rookie hype and him producing lately. They're going to like that a little bit more. When really I think Christian Kirk is a pretty solid value for us on the slate, although I don't think we need to go crazy with anyone here for the Texans. But at the same time, Kirk is clearly too cheap, and so is Xavier Hutchinson. Now, Hutchinson typically doesn't get that involved, but you guys have probably seen a bunch of other videos of mine where I'm like, we don't have value. We're forced into paying up and etc. These are two pretty darn good values on this slate. And so that's what makes the slate kind of difficult. It's like we could just be loading up on a lot of the Texans players and maybe not so much of the Steelers, because the Steelers offense does draw a difficult matchup here against the Texans. Now, I really don't mind the idea of doing a lineup here like with Kirk and then switching out and getting to Hutchinson. The issue here is if we're playing 3 of the Texans pass catchers, then we probably want to be getting to Stroud then in the captain spot. It kind of would be like Jordan Love against the Bears, where threw for 4 touchdowns, all 4 to his receivers, all 4 different receivers, okay? That could end up happening here with CJ Stroud, where obviously then you'd want to be a little bit more on Stroud. And I do think it's worth calling out, guys, when we look at like who are the values. Kirk and Xavier Hutchinson, 2 pretty good values. They're just clearly mispriced there. And then for what's worth, we can take a peek at tight end and running back, as I already mentioned them. Woody Marks is fine. Again, Jordan's been ruled out. And then I think we're just looking at Schultz. I think he ends up being a very solid play for us. But I don't want to say like that's it, but that's it. And what I mean is like, yes, sure, we could be looking at Fairbairn. At least we know, again, Schultz, Collins, Stroud, and then get into one of the values. And then we flip it around here to the Steelers, and this is where the slate gets pretty darn difficult. And the reason I think it gets difficult is because, well, one, Aaron Rodgers has been balling out, guys. Over the last several weeks, he has looked elite. He's looked like his old self, and just great. Purely great. Even this game against Cleveland, people that didn't watch it and maybe see the completion percentage, they wouldn't know. He looked very good in that game, and I think we're going to continue to see kind of vintage Rodgers. The game against Baltimore was a good matchup, though, and I kind of think the outcome that we would kind of be expecting out of Rodgers is probably this game against Cleveland. Now, Houston has been a little bit more defeatable defensively lately. Maybe Rodgers gets it going, and he does get DK Metcalf back. I mean, remember, guys, these two games were without DK Metcalf, and I still think if DK Metcalf were active in that game, he gets the touchdown at the end of the game there, and probably the game really isn't even close. But he's balling out. I don't mind him. You know, we pull up the QB projection for him. He is projected to get 13.2 DFS points at a pretty high ownership. I mean, I don't mind it. But the thing is, like, who else are you going to play from the Steelers, right? And we're going to have enough salary to be able to pay up for him, so it does make sense. I will say the play that I like the most for the Steelers, just value being considered, is Pat Freiermuth. Freiermuth has seen a lot more snaps recently over the past two games, guys. Last week, ended up playing 68% of the snaps, had a 71% route share, and up with 48 air yards. So I do think he's kind of a safe play, but also a play that I feel pretty comfortable getting to. And then I will say, Calvin Austin, this is a strange price tag for him. Now, I don't know, and no one is going to know prior, guys, and if they say they do, they're lying, whether it's going to be Adam Thielen or Calvin Austin that gets the most snaps. I would assume it probably would be Thielen, but we don't know. That's a guessing game. And that's kind of the thing with the Steelers. Their offensive snaps, their snap share has been all over the place, which has kind of benefited them. And so I think Calvin Austin does hold more upside than Adam Thielen, as we saw in the previous game, guys. I kind of mentioned I really liked him as a play, and for prop betting, I really loved him there. And he ended up having a good game on the last drive, albeit, but he ended up with 102 air yards, 7 targets, guys, and was on the field for 65% of the snaps. So if they are maybe playing from behind, he is someone that does benefit. That being said, Adam Thielen is pretty cheap. I do expect Adam Thielen to be on the field a bunch. I think it'll be DK Metcalf and Adam Thielen, and then we'll see Calvin Austin work in there. Adam Thielen, look good, guys. If he's going to continue to get 90+% of the snaps, that's pretty darn appealing. I like, honestly, the Houston values more. But this is kind of the issue. We are getting, 4 pretty logical punt value plays in Christian Kirk, Xavier Hutchinson, and then we got Adam Thielen and Calvin Austin. That's where the slate gets pretty darn difficult. But here, guys, I mean, look at this. We have $2,000 left over, and this is a phenomenal looking build. This is what is crazy about this slate. We'll see if we can put CJ Stroud in the captain spot while still getting to Dalton Schultz, and that ends up being just a great build. Let's face it, self-fan on the bat, and then it's going to be a 10-13 game where a kicker misses at the end of the game, and that'll be the difference, and this lineup will be terrible. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and generate some lineups just to see what we're looking at from the 9-to-5 lineup builder. Stroud, Collins, Kenneth Gainwell, Dalton Schultz. I didn't mention Gainwell and Warren. I should mention it, guys. Gainwell has been out snapping Warren, but the opportunities, Warren's going to get a decent amount of opportunities as well. Gainwell's just out snapping him. That could be closer here in this game where it's going to be a tighter spread. But that being said, against Cleveland, Gainwell still out snapped Warren. And so I would favor Gainwell, and so I would agree that he's going to be the better play among those two. And this is a very similar build to literally the one I just gave you guys. And I would agree with this. I think this is fine. I think that makes a lot of sense. And really do that. We're swapping out Rodgers for Gainwell. I'm fine with that. Floor-wise, I think Gainwell should have a good floor. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Appreciate you being here. I'll catch you guys on the next DFS video. NBA DFS Monday afternoon-ish. Be on the lookout for that, guys. And then obviously I'll continue to cover the NFL on this channel as well. So leave a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.